All right, just to wrap this on Chelsea. I'm assuming I was looking at this, and before when I went through all the flaws in the Chelsea team, I was being a bit harsh because obviously there's a ton of good players. But it seems to me that there is work to be done here as well. Because
in terms of the squad, you mean?
In terms of the squad. And obviously everybody's focusing on the center forward and the fact that he doesn't like Tammy, fine. And Giroud, we presume, is leaving. Maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to try to keep him around another year if you can't find the player you want. But I think there's work to be done at the back too, right? There's talk of Thiago Silva extending another season. I hope he does. It's great to have him around. But, I mean, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger aren't going to be your back three. Christensen's been hurt. He's been in and out. They have Tomori, who I think is really good. May not have him at the end of the summer. I don't know. Your boy Kurt Zuma as well.
Reece James, who is seen as a centre back and as a full back or wing back or whatever.
But then you've got a whole right wing back.
But Tomori will be sold, right? You would think, and then they replace him.
I don't know. These are all the question marks that we don't have. What does Thomas Tuchel think of Tomori? He hasn't worked with him at all, right? We don't know. It just seems like there's so many moving parts to this, and that's before you get into the whole galaxy of attacking midfielder winger types. Both the guys who are already there. What does it mean for Ziyech? What does it mean for Pulisic? Yeah. What does it mean for all the dudes for Hudson-Odoi, for all the dudes on loan, Barkley and Loftus-Cheek? I mean, it's going to be a lot of Wyscout watching this summer for Tuchel, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think in some ways it could probably do with having another transfer embargo, so you didn't have to make any big decisions. In this moment, to find success in such short term, and then to know that you could potentially have money in the summer, but then also have players coming back, like these are some really, really big decisions because you've seen the team, and obviously, as you said, they could bring in people here, there, and wherever, but they've just won a Champions League. But the manager didn't have any say in terms of the players who were at the club at the time when he won the Champions League. So it's going to be so interesting. And I'll be interested to see what he thinks he needs to sort of do better, which positions he needs to improve when the money is available, if it does become available. And then, who knows, will it actually make them better? That's the question.
Thomas Tuchel, apparently, met Roman Abramovich for the very first time on the pitch an hour afterwards. And he says, like, oh, it would be a great time to meet him, or maybe it's a horrible time because it's going to be hard to keep this level, right? Just to see him in such a good mood. Is this relevant at all, or is it just a quirk of Chelsea? That we had this image of the club where it's almost like a German club, right? The managers come and go, but like the impetus of the club isn't necessarily the manager. And maybe Thomas Tuchel's more expendable than anybody else. Like he's never going to reach the status of a Pep or a Klopp, who are the boss of everything at the club, just about.
Yeah, and it's a short-term contract as well, which I think just goes with your points. And I think he knows that, and I think he accepted it. He knows exactly how it works. He knows that in many respects it's a complicated club because you've got Roman Abramovich who's there but who's actually not there, hence why you only met him on Saturday. You've got Marina who's so powerful, but also Peter Cech and Scott McLaughlin and others who are very influential in that club but sometimes don't have the same idea and the same opinion. And I think he knows that, and maybe that suits Tuchel as well.
That's weird. I'm not going to ask you how many times you met Thaksin or Sheikh Mansour. I'm assuming you hung out with Mansour probably about as often as our producer Freddie has hung out with Roman Abramovich, yeah?
Well, there was one time where I met the actual Man City owner, and it was like I was seeing like a god or some sort of like mafia boss or something. Because he was like, oh my God, there he is, the savior. He's changed everything. If it wasn't for him, we'd be in Division 2 again, all that type of stuff. But yeah, it's weird. I kind of like the owners who you don't really see. It sort of adds to their power and their mystique. I've had owners which I see all the time, especially on Twitter, and I don't really like that. But for Abramovich and so on, they might change managers and stuff like this, but ultimately it's never too long before they find success. And, credit to them for that.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.